So here's my Legacy Elves deck I've been working on. There's still a couple little changes I'd like to make, but it's fairly playable now. I'll start off with the mana base. I've got 3 Forest, 4 Misties, a Verdant Catacombs, a Windswept Heath, Wooded Foothills, and a Pendlehaven. The Pendlehaven's not bad, especially with crop rotation. I have got somebody before so they had a Jit, and if they kill my last guy, I have no outs next turn. I've crop rotated for Pendlehaven, turned 1/1 into a 2/3, and so the Jit activation doesn't really kill it. So it's not bad. It should probably be another Verdant Catacombs or Windswept Heath, but for right now, I'm just going to run it because it's proved useful so far. Now these, granted, should be tropical islands. They're not, but they should be. But we got 3 breeding pools, a bayou, and only the one Gaia's Cradle. Still looking to pick up 1 to 2 more, of course, since they shot up because of the new legend rule. They are harder to get, but like I said, 1 makes it where you can play the deck. Like I said, I've got a couple crop rotations, so you can get it. Having 2 or 3 is much nicer, maybe 4, but for right now, 1's all I've got. Also have a Dryad Arbor, which counts as a land, or can be a green creature, or just whatever you need it to be. So it's always good in this deck. Got 1 more on the sideboard. On to the creatures. Running the full 4 of Nettle Sentinel, Deathrite Shaman, which of course with the Bayou, that's why the Bayou's in there for the black mana to drain should you need to. These 2 are probably the hardest working cards. The Wirewood Symbiote can save your Elves, and of course you get to untap stuff. And getting to replay spells after a glimpse or something like that, then it's very useful. Treant Ranger is the same thing. If you only have 1 land down, you can play something, bounce the land to your hand, untap a creature, and then play the land again. So it is a little bit of ramp if you have a land-light hand to begin with. Okay, got the 4 Heritage Druids. Of course, this enables your combo, tapping 3 Elves for 3 mana, and of course you play something off that, and say if 2 of the Elves are Nettle Sentinels, they just untap. Anyway, so got the 4 Elvish Visionaries, 1 of the few 2-drops in the deck, and they're secretly probably one of the best 2 or 3 cards in the deck, because always drawing you a card, most of the time drawing you 2, so never really unhappy to draw that guy. 1 Birthfall Ranger. It really helps out because you can tap 2 Elves if you don't have a Heritage Druid out to make 1 mana of any color, which, whether it be for Deathrite activation or to cast one of the only non-green spells in the deck. Wirewood Hive Master, I put him in here because of Bet Call, which I'll show you later is in the deck as well. After you cast Bet Call, you play a creature, you draw a card off the creature, and then you draw a card off the insect that comes into play. Of course, it's got to be a non-token elf, so the symbiote or a couple of the fatties won't trigger it, but all the other creatures do. Incidentally, if they play a Deathrite Shaman when you've got this guy in play, because it says comes into play, not under your control, so you still get an insect off like their Deathrite Shaman, just randomly. Here's some spells, like I said, the 2 crop rotations, which, usually just find Gaia's Cradle, but, can find any land at instant speed. The Pendlehaven helps. I've got a Bajuka Bog in the sideboard that really hoses the graveyard deck, so always useful. I finally got my full 4 Glimpse of Nature, so always you want to draw the cards when you cast that. Pretty fun to resolve. Like I said, I'm trying the 2 Bet Calls out in a test game the other day. I didn't quite have enough didn't have the cards in hand to go off, but I had a Deathrite Shaman out with a fetch land of the art, so I can make white mana, and I had enough Elves out to tap to make just the full 8 mana, so I fused Bet Call into the Legacy game. Pretty fun. So drawing all the cards, and even though they're 1/1 white birds, they still count. Great card. Of course, you got to have the full 4 Green Sun Zenith. Sometimes on turn 1 you just go get a Dryad Arbor, but most of the time you're getting your key combo piece or your win condition. Natural Order. Most decks I've seen run 2 to 3, usually with 1 more on the board. 3 is a good number. Sometimes you can just get them on turn 3 even, without drawing a Glimpse or a Green Sun or anything. You just make the mana and bring it in. So, and what are you normally getting? Well, Regal Force is good when you can't just outright kill them, but you want to refill your hand. You can natural order a green sun into him and just draw a bunch of cards. And then he's a 5/5 on top of that. So he's not your first choice, but he's, when you do play him, he usually gets you good value. Of course, like I said, the first choice to end the game is the Crater Hoof. He can kill turn 2 pretty, without being magical Christmas landing, you go turn 2, turn 3, and turn 4 very easy. So that's one of the reasons this deck is a deck now, because the printing of him, you get a couple guys out, green sun him in, and swing for a lot. My record so far is late in the game. It's like turn 7, but I swung for I think it was 160. Don't quote me on that, but it's upwards of 150, so we'll quit counting after that. But a lot of fun. The sideboard I've got most of the key cards for. I wouldn't mind another Mind Break Trap or 2 just to help against the Storm matchup. And sorry if the video is dark, but I having too much glare, so I cut some light down. Hopefully everybody can see this alright, and if you have any suggestions or questions about how the deck works, just please let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.